D, wait for it, delightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds? Okay, so first off, sorry I'm late on this. This week has just been a little bit crazy in my life, my personal life. I have kids, they have school stuff, I have doctor's appointments that I got to get to, all that stuff. But okay, so I finally watched the season and series finale for Titans. And let me just say right now, was it a complete abortion? Absolutely not. There was some stuff that I actually liked. It's just it wasn't it wasn't a great episode. I mean, as far as season finales go, also it wasn't that great. This season has been probably my least favorite season so far. And I think in terms of, in past seasons, this show has just, I've always thought it started off really good and then it just fell off a cliff like real quick. Cause I feel like with this show, the writers just have so many ideas that they just don't know how to hone it in. They're just like, okay, let's do this. Okay, do it. Let's do it. Let's incorporate that. And I'm like, maybe somebody should have told you no. And with this season, this episode especially, like, man, like they just they wrapped it up in like the dumbest way. Like I'm all like I just want to be like, what are you talking about? And I understand that this is a parallel universe. This is not our universe kind of thing, or the comic books, but I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, it's just utter nonsense. And some of the acting was a little not so great. And yeah, this wasn't the best season finale. And as far as a series finale, it was definitely not good. Like, I'm all like, man, I'm all like, okay, fine. But I did like that they brought it back to Trigon from season 1, kind of. Like, I don't know. They could have done this in a way better way. And I know you're all like, well, why don't you write a script then? It's like, don't challenge me because I might do it. Although I wouldn't know how to film it kind of thing. Yeah. I don't know. Let me do this breakdown to get my thoughts going because I just finished it and everything. And I just want you to know, I didn't take notes. I didn't write crap down, and I'm not going to. I don't feel like this show put the effort in to write a quality episode / season. So I'm not going to put in the time if you're not going to put in the time. But let's get started on this breakdown, yo. And I'll tell you the things that I liked and the things I didn't like. Yeah, and I'll wrap it all up at the end and everything. And I will do a season 4 review. I'll try to get that out tomorrow, and then I'll try to do a series review. And then I have one more Titans video that'll come out in the next couple of days, and then we'll just wrap up our Titans discussion. Okay, let's get started on this breakdown. But before I do, I just want to say that if you like what I do here and you enjoy independent content here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my channel. YouTube is always changing up their algorithm, and small channels like mine, we just keep getting shoved to the back of the line, you guys. So please ask that you like, share, and subscribe, and I thank you in advance. All right, now that that's out of the way, let's get started on this. Okay, so it starts off, they're in the dam, where that temple was. And they're kind of trying to get in, but they can't get the password, or the passcode. So like, oh crap, what are we gonna do, guys? What are we gonna do? So she's about to blast it, but then Raven's all like, no, let me do this. I got this, guys. Give me a second. And she vision quests herself in there. So then he's blown the horn, remember, and he throws it in the little bucket. And then you hear, you summoned me. And he's like, yes. He's like, you have fear and you have doubts. And he's like, yes. He's like, but you got rid of all these doubts and fear to get me. I'm so proud of you, my son. And he's like, I am Trigon and all this stuff. And I'm all like, oh, get the hell out of here. So Trigon's there. And listen, Trigon, hold on, let me go back. Trigon doesn't look that bad. In fact, this is actually a really cool image. I might use this for my thumbnail. But at the same time, I just go, I knew they weren't going to keep this up for the whole episode. Because if you remember from season 2, the final episode, or the first episode, where they wrapped up the Trigon storyline like that. They wrapped that up in like 5 minutes. It was ridiculous. But with this, they just I knew that he wasn't going to stay on screen that long. I knew he wasn't going to. And if he did, he was going to be in human form. If you remember from season 1, he was in human form, the season finale. And I was all like, this is freaking ridiculous. But and the way they got rid of him was ridiculous too. So Trigon shows up and he's like, my mother, he's like, you're mad at me about my mother. And he's like, no, she was just a vessel. You know them bitches. They're only good for making babies. And he didn't say that, but you know what it is. And then Raven shows up and she's like, don't trust him. He will kill you. And she's and meanwhile, she's all here like, getting all Zorgified and everything. And I'm all like, what's going on here? This is ridiculous. So then he's all like, daughter. And he's all like, we will rule together, son, or whatever crap like that. And she's all like, he's gonna kill you. He's like, I only brought him here for what? He only has one thing that I need. So then he starts hacking away at him with this axe. And I'm all like, you're telling me brother Pussy Boy here is gonna beat Trigon? Get the hell out of here with this nonsense. And Trigon doesn't even put up a fight. He's just like, taking every hit like a total simp. And I'm all like, dude, Trigon, fight back, yo. But they can't because then, you know, they'd have to. And she sees that Superboy is dead. Oh, God, the Superboy. And he's like, and then he cuts out. He takes his heart. He like plunges and takes his heart out. And he's just got this big ass heart. And he's like, you're the only family member I have left, sister. She's like, join me. And she's like, no. And he's all like, and he drinks the blood and he's like, well, then I guess I won't have, I killed my mother and my father. Now I only have my sister left. And she's all like, and he drinks the blood and then she zaps out of there. And she's all like, he's got all Trigon's powers and his rage and all that stuff. And I'm all like, he's like, he's coming after me or some crap like that. And I'm all like, well, then maybe you guys should get the hell out of there, out of the dam that he's like, 2 feet below you. Like, get out of there, dude. I'm all like, what's going on here? And then it's done. Oh, what was that? Hold on. Yeah, done. Okay, so he's dead, and they're like, "Oh, Superboy's dead. Let's take him back to the thing." And look at Pussy Boy right here, Beast Boy, man, what a total girl about everything. So then he's all like, so then they go, they bring him back to the thing, the RV, which so cool. And he's like, they're like, "What's that?" And he's like, "Red kryptonite." They made it at Star Labs for some whatever and everything. And I'm like, that's cool. They brought in red kryptonite. It's pretty cool. But I'm like 2 seasons too late. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, I don't know what it's going to do to him. So it zaps him. And I'm like, I know what it's going to do. It's going to bring him back to life, reasons. So, because the script says so. I don't, that's not how red kryptonite works, but it's fine. It's fine. I just don't care at this point. I'm all like, whatever. I'm like, the show is not quality. So, who did he get a buzz from? I can't remember who called him here, but whatever. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter, you guys. Promise. She's like, remember the first time we met at that bowling alley? And he's like, you didn't like me that much. She's like, I didn't. I fucking hated you, white boy. So then they find out where he is, and it's some building. So they go there, and Robin magically, deliciously shows up in his suit, which I don't mind this suit, actually. I think it's actually a nice suit. I just don't like this actor. I don't think he's a good actor, like, at all. I just don't. And I'll be honest with you, the Beast Boy actor and the Raven actress did not bring it this season. They phoned it in my opinion. The other two, Brandon Thwaites and Anna Diop, they brought it, in my opinion, acting wise, but the other people, they just phoned it in. And except for this kid, he's not a good actor. He's just not a good actor. And they're like, Robin 3.0, and he's like, 3rd time's a charm. And I'm like, the first time was a good one. So I'm like, stop it. And then Brother Blood shows up. What are you doing here? So they fight him and everything, but he's an illusion. And they're like, why did he do that? He's like, it was a fake out. They're like, where is he? So he's, riding his bike, and he comes to Star Labs. And this doctor's all like, what are you doing here? He's like, I heard you destroyed my game. And I'm like, seriously? Over this freaking game? This dude is an idiot. Anyways, so he's like, I can't remember what he says. He's like, you're going to let me into the Icarus lab. Or I'm going to get all bloody. And then everybody dies because they start bleeding. And, this whole thing with them bleeding and stuff could have been cool if you had done it from the beginning. They should have done this cult thing from the beginning, and this whole brother blood thing from the beginning, but done. There was a I believe it was a Titans movie. I can't remember. It was an animated movie that they actually did a pretty good job where it was Brother Blood was like a cult leader, but it was like kind of like Scientology, not dissing on Scientology, although it's weird. But it was kind of like that, but like, you know, if it just would have been better, and they could have incorporated Trigon in there and everything, but they just didn't do it a good job. They just didn't do a good job. So, and he was like, this'll do. And then he goes to, Bernard, calls him and he's like, yeah, he's getting into the Icarus lab. And then he's like, what's the Icarus lab? And he's like, it's a wormhole that will, take you to any place in the galaxy or some crap like that. But no, like he's going to go to Tamarin. He's going to destroy Tamarin because Tamarin's everything that he is not. And I'm all like, what? What are you talking about? What's going on here with this Tamarin bullshit? Like, they're just throwing this in here like we're supposed to automatically know what they're talking about. And I'm all like, I don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what I'm talking about. It's just a weird free-for-all. Well, I know what I'm talking about. I know I read these comic books, and I'm telling you right now, Trigon wasn't obsessed with destroying Tamarin. I'll tell you that. I mean, he would have conquered it, but it's so stupid. It's so stupid. All right, so whatever. It's a parallel universe, you guys, so it's different from the comic books. So I don't remember what they say here, and it doesn't fucking matter. Yeah. So then he goes in here, and the computer's all like, "Hi, I'm Calliope." I tried to look up Calliope in the DC comic books because I was like, I don't remember Calliope. The only thing was the Greek goddess or whatever. And so he's all like, he needs the energy from Starfire to power up this wormhole Icarus device thing. So he's all like, if a Tamarin uses their powers inside this room, will that power it up? And she's like, yes. So they get in there, and basically what they're gonna do. Hold on. So he's going to, and then there's a team in front of the door. So he possesses her, and then she goes to the room. So basically what they're going to do, so there's a task force in front of the room. He comes back to life. Superboy does, after Crypto licks his fingers like a big weirdo. And then hold on, I'm trying to get to it. So there's the task force. So they let her in because he's possessing her. And then these guys are all like, we gotta go. We gotta help her. We gotta get her out of there. And so he's all like, they talk, and basically what he's going to do is, all right, so this whole time, basically what he's going to do is he's going to take Earth and slam it into Tamarin to destroy both Earth and Tamarin. And because that was what sorry, I'm blocking this. Hold on. That's what Trigon's goal was, to destroy Tamarin and Earth. And she's all like, that doesn't have to be your goal. And he's all like, I've found out that once you take someone into you, you take in their goals and their dreams and their hopes and all that crap, or whatever he says. And I'm all like, great writing, guys. This is nonsense. And she's like, I won't help you. And he's like, you don't have a choice, kind of thing. And he all dominatrix her and like puts her up in his little science dungeon, but that doesn't happen just yet. So then these guys, they take out this task force like so easily too. It's like they don't even get a hit in, which I'm all like, it's so weird. I hate these shows like this where it's like, it's not indicative of real life. If I got into a fight with somebody, and even if I was like able to like overpower, they'd get a hit in. That's not, I'm sorry, you guys, like, come on, peoples. So then he like does this weird S&M thing where he binds her up, and then he starts just taking her powers. Like, it's like, oh, she doesn't have to use her powers because he's just going to take it. And so they're fighty, and they destroy all these they stop all these little dudes. And then he's like, they're trying to get into this room, right? Trying to hack their way in. There's Tamarin from far away. And he's sitting here. I don't remember what he says, but it doesn't even freaking matter. So they get into the room and they start fighting, right? So Bernard's all like, there's 4 cables underneath the thing. You have to pull those, and that'll stop its navigation thing. But then he goes, hold on, let me get on Bernard there. Somebody goes, be careful of the gravity well, because it's unpredictable. And I'm like, oh, we're gonna get some stupid thing where we gotta like, it's all like, yeah, don't go into light, Carolyn, where you're getting like wind going everywhere and the hair is flying everywhere, and somebody's all like, ah, help me, kind of thing. And that's exactly what we got. It was ridiculous. Anyways, and cheap, so cheap. Okay. So then Beast Boy's trying to pull this stuff out. Now, the first one he gets pretty good, but I'm all like, dude, you can turn into a gorilla. Why didn't they turn him into a gorilla? Oh, I'm like, oh, yeah, because they don't have any money. And I'm all like, this is why you shouldn't do Beast Boy. Because if you can't have him change into an elephant and grab it with a trunk and just rip it out willy-nilly, then you don't do Beast Boy, okay? So there's that. And he's trying, and this idiot is trying to hack into it. And I'm all like, oh, God. I'm like, what's going on here? He's like, I can't get into the system. I'm like, yeah, we know, because you're useless. You're a useless piece of shit. So there he's trying to fight him too. These two are fighting Brother Blood, who is not using his powers because, money. And so it's like, coming up on Tamarin space. So he's like, where are we at with those wires? Oh, and I love when he pulled out one. He's like, great, that's one. You got 3 to go. And I'm all like, yeah, we all know how to count, asshole. Like, oh, it's so obnoxious. This show is so obnoxious. So she's trying to help, but every time she tries to touch something, she's like, it hurts, it burns, and everything. She's like, let me help you. And so, and then he's about to fly into the thing because, of course, the gravity well situation. So he turns his little thing into it. Instead of turning into an octopus, he just uses his hand to turn into a tentacle. And then, of course, he comes to help him, but he doesn't get sucked in because, so stupid. It's so stupid. It's like the dumbest freaking thing ever. I can't do this. I'm so glad this show is over. When this show first started, I actually thought it was pretty decent, even with the bad endings. But now I'm just like, oh my gosh, ridiculous. Okay, so he saves him and his octopus tentacle, and then they end up. Oh, she helps out Starfire from this whole thing, and there's Tamarin, and they end up pulling out the little navigational. Oh, he stops, and he's like, you think you can defeat me? And he's like, no, I can't, but he can. And then he comes in and he blasties. This drops or whatever, and then they push him into this thing, and then he throws this little electric thing, and he's like, but it doesn't kill him. It doesn't kill him. So then he's destroyed, and they're like, you're alive, and he's like, was I dead? And I'm all like, what, you mean you didn't go to that shadowy world that Hawk and Dove went to, or Diana and or not Diana, Donna Troy went to, and Hawk went to, where Hawk is still there? So they're like, she's like, we have to destroy him, because he could come back. So he's like, no. So she ends up taking Brother Blood. I can't remember what she says here, but she takes Brother Blood and she flies off, which she should have been flying from the get-go, but, cheap money-wise. So they go outside and they watch her, and she flies up. Hold on, let's play this a little bit. So there they are, and she flies up into space and does this she crystallizes herself or whatnot. And then they're all like, oh, what's going on? Look how cheap this costume is. Cheap. And then it explodes, right? So, and then hold on, let's do this explosion. And then just, oh God, why are we zooming? And they play the dramatic music and everything. Da na 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 na. And you're all like, and then we're supposed to be all like, oh no, Starfire, she sacrificed herself. Me, I was all like, oh, thank God. Like when they were gonna collide the two worlds together, I was like, oh, just let hit Earth Tamarin and put me out of my misery. Jesus, put these people out of their misery. So they're all upset. This kid's doing some bad crocodile tears, like Jesus. So they're all like, all right, she's dead. Let's go inside now. Oh, we do this flashback where they're talking about Christmas. It's whatever. So then I'm not even gonna, we're just not gonna spend any time on this because it's so stupid and so bad acting. And so he oh my God. See, I did a better job there than this kid did in this part. Like, look, like, what? And so they're all like, all right, she's dead. Let's go inside now for some tea and crumpets. And so they all start walking inside. He's like, Dick, come on, she's dead. And I'm all like, what are you guys doing? And so then, but she's not dead. So she comes back down to Earth. And this part's cool. Look how cool she looks. She looks freaking cool. But they weren't going to do this. And so, um, so yeah, so then he's like, "Yeah, you're back," and she's like, "Yeah, I'm back." And they kiss. Nice, nice. Um, and they're like, "Ah, we're a family now." Oh, and I forgot to tell you, he made reservations at this what looks like a shitty restaurant. And they're all like, "Wow, wow!" Like they come in. Hold on, let me just play this for 2 seconds. They're all like, "Wow, this place is great," and he's like, wow, look at these lanterns I can buy at the dollar store." I'm all like, "Yeah, look at this. It's so fancy." It's not fancy. This is all patio deck furniture. I'm like, stop it with some paper lanterns. Get the hell out of here with this. Wow, wow. So he tells him he's leaving. Beast Boy's leaving, and he's got stuff to do with the Red. He's like, I got answers, but I have more questions. He's like, and everything. I'm like, oh God. And then she's like, I'm leaving too. I did something I never thought I would do. I applied for college. I'm going to this little it's Bloodhaven Community College. I'm like, okay, great. And then he's like, I'm gonna leave too, guys. He's like, Robin is a part of Gotham. And he's like, hold on, let me play this. Because he actually looks like this. Hold on, Jesus. Stupid thing. He's like, Robin is a part of Gotham. So he's gonna go fight crime in Gotham. And this part looks pretty cool. But I'm all like, okay, great. And then he's like, but my life is also Metropolis, so I'm going to be switching back and forth between cities. And I'm like, or your asshole boyfriend could move to Gotham like a cool person. Why is it that you're sacrificing, But whatever. I'm like, no, there's obviously no compromise. And then so he's all like, I'm going to go meet Superman's going to teach me some stuff. And we get to feature him with a bad wig on. Or maybe that's his real hair. I don't think that's his real hair, but it looks like a bad wig. But Superman shows up, and hold on, let me play this because they just show Superman's boot. And I was like, oh man, you guys had an opportunity to show Superman. And it would have been cool if they did, but they did. They just show him and he's teaching him how to fly. And let's do this. So sorry, I'm blocking it a little bit, but he's teaching him how to fly. And he like goes up into the air and he like kind of falls and then he goes back up and he's flying. And then we go over to they're all like, you said this was a good thing. He's like, yeah, but not all at once and everything. And he's like, well, he's like, but call us. If you need us, we'll be there kind of thing. They brought their dog to a restaurant. You can't do that. I'm sorry. Unless you're blind, which even then I don't think they would let you bring your dog into a restaurant. You just use your little cane or whatever. I don't know. Don't get all pissy because I don't know the workings of blind people. But I'm just saying this was terrible. So fucking stupid. So he's drinking and he's like, what you drinking? I don't remember what he says. It's what Lex drinks. And he's like, is it good? And he's like, no, it sounds better than it tastes. He's like, Superman didn't get to meet the person that he thought he was going to meet and who I was. And he's like, yeah, but he's meeting you or whatever. I don't remember what he says. It doesn't even freaking matter. It's so stupid. So then he's like, us alone, everything's like, can I buy you a cup of coffee? And he's like, you buy me another drink. And she's like, and they start, I don't remember what they talk about, but they talk about the future and like their children or some crap like that. And they already have a daughter. Like we already know they're going to have a daughter. And then we get this small little thing after this little thing, of him flying, which I mean was kind of cool. It looks cheap because his wig looks bad. This is a bad wig. And then that's the end of the episode. That's the end of the episode, the end of the series, end of the season, all that stuff. And like I said before, it just wasn't like, there was some cool stuff with the special effects, like Starfire flying and then coming down and everything was cool. It's just, and Trigon looked cool in the flames and everything, but 5 minutes of an episode, of 5 good minutes of an episode, a good episode does not make. And as far as series finales goes, I mean, good, they wrapped it up kind of, but it wasn't great. And then the season sucked. So I just, I was disappointed and, there's no getting around that. But I think I've given my thoughts on this pretty well. I'm sorry I took up more time than I wanted to, but I'm going to wrap it up now. I'll do a season finale review. That won't take that long. That'll be like 10 minutes tops. But tell me what you guys thought about this episode. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What'd you think about all the nonsense of this episode? Tell me what you guys think by leaving all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go hit that like button. You know I won't mind. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys on my next Titans video. You guys have a good day. Bye.